Let's talk about these really good looking in satin white finish Martin Logan Motion XT B100 stand mount speakers. These are really good. Spoiler alert. Hi and welcome. I'm Hunter Gray and this is Hunter-Gray-LUV-Music. It's important to me that my music sounds beautiful when I play it. So that's why we're here talking about hi-fi gear, because your hi-fi gear and my hi-fi gear helps or hurts how the music we love sounds. So slow down for a few minutes and enjoy it while we have a chat about the Martin Logan XT B100 and this really impressive folded motion tweeter they refer to as the FMT. I'm going to begin with some comparisons. So when I was playing these in the living room and comparing them with the Sonus Faber Lumina 5 and the Zoo Dirty Weekend 6, the folded motion tweeter is really excellent. I would describe the treble that this FMT tweeter produces as crisp and sparkly. Compared to the Silk Dome DAD, which stands for Damped Access Dome. What is DAD? The tweeter for the Sonus Faber. Domed Apex. Anyway, the tweeter on the Sonus Faber, I would characterize as smooth and sweet treble from that Silk Dome tweeter. If I could use a metaphor, the way on a beautiful clear day, but one where you don't need to put on sunglasses, maybe it's in indirect daylight, but it's midday and it's bright, great visibility. So you can see perfectly every detail without sunglasses. This is the Martin Logan XT B100 treble presentation. But on that same day, you could also choose to slip on your sunglasses and you would still see every detail, but it's different. This is the Sonus Faber Silk Dome tweeter. You still get all of the detail retrieval and all of the resolution, but it's slightly different. They're both highly resolving, but their presentation is different. So again, crisp and sparkly versus smooth and sweet on the Sonus Faber. So this gives the FMT tweeter a sense of transparency. These are not a warm speaker. They're clean and crisp, and I'm going to use the word accurate instead of neutral, because I think neutral has almost a negative connotation to some of us, that it's boring, and these are not boring. But the XT-B100s are all about this FMT tweeter. The mids and the bass don't really stand out. And what clearly stands out is how transparent and clean the treble is from this FMT tweeter. And in this satin white, it can be hard to see this waveguide, but it throws a sound stage into your room and places the vocalist even further in so that the musicians in the band are clearly behind the vocalist. It's a really nice, soundstage presentation. In a lot of ways, it does remind me of the way Klipsch present a soundstage. The mids and the bass are okay, but when I A/B switch with the Zoo Dirty Weekend 6, now the Dirty Weekend 6 I paid $1,600 for, same as a pair of these XT-B100s. And there's an immediate difference in the tonality and the richness to the mids and the bass coming from the DW6. Yes, The Zoo does have deeper bass extension. It reaches down to 30 or 32 hertz. This lists it down to 40 hertz, but really I think 50 hertz is more accurate. In the 50 to 200 hertz range, instruments in the sound presentation coming from the Zoo Dirty Weekend 6 to me was really noticeably different, and I preferred over what you were hearing from the Martin Logan. Now, another interesting thing, the Martin Logan XT B100s have a stated efficiency of 93 dB, and the Zoo Dirty Weekend 6 have a stated efficiency of 95 dB. And yet, when I was playing A-B switching from the Dirty Weekend 6 to the XT B100s on my reference Class D XTZ Edge A2 300, which is 300 watts into 4 ohms, in order to precisely volume match the decibel levels, I needed to drop negative 15 clicks inside the Wim Home app on the Dirty Weekend 6 to get a level match, which 15 clicks is a lot more than the delta between 93 dB efficiency stated and 95 dB efficiency stated from the Dirty Weekend 6. So that was surprising to me. So A-B listening here in the dining room with the KEF LS50 Meta compared to the Martin Logan XT B100. In the dining room here, it's dining room and the kitchen is over there. It's 15 feet across and 30 feet wide, no acoustic treatments, but I'm able to position on the stand mounts 4.5 feet from the back wall of the window and 4 feet from each side wall. So the speakers are really nicely into the room. But because I'm walking around and living in here and cooking and sometimes working on the laptop here at the dining room table, I don't really toe them in. I'm not trying to get a tight listening position, angle. I have them pretty neutral so that I can walk around and not feel a lot of difference from what I'm hearing. So in this A-B listening with the KEF, surprisingly, was slightly warmer than the Martin Logan XT B100. I don't think I've ever used the term warm to describe the metas before. But in A-B comparison, relative to the Martin Logans, they are. And this is playing both the KEF and the Martin Logan with the KEF KC62 subwoofer, crossed over at 45, 47 hertz. So this is not a comment on the bass extension or the bass quantity. This is the difference in the tonality and the fullness of the bass and mids coming from the KEF versus what you get from the 6.5-inch bass mid-range driver from this pair of Martin Logans. For example, the trumpet on Wynton Marsalis' beautiful song, Yesterdays, sounds just slightly dry on the Martin Logans. They sound fantastic. This is not a criticism. It's only listening observation in comparison to the metas. The LS50 have a slightly fuller sound and a slightly more richness to the trumpet, which I really like. Now, I have to say, this is like the difference between a vanilla bean flavored ice cream and a French vanilla flavored ice cream. If you A-B taste them, they are different flavors, but it's very subtle. And which one you prefer is 100% your choice. But in my opinion, there are no wrong answers. I'm attempting to describe to you so that you can make choices based on your preferences, not mine. But as I said, I've never described the very neutral KEF LS50 metas as warm, but in comparison, on that beautiful trumpet through Wynton Marsalis' song Yesterdays, there is a difference. And I also have to say, in my opinion, you'd never be able to describe that difference that I am telling you about right now without careful and immediate A/B side-by-side listening. Subtle, but it is there. One other example. On Norah Jones's track, 7 Years, at about the 1 minute mark, there comes in what I believe is a steel guitar or maybe a dobro, I don't know. But on the KEF, those plucks on the steel guitar string, they sound like a twang. And on the Martin Logan, they sound like a ping. When you A/B listen, the steel guitar plucks sound like a ping, and on the KEF, like a twang. And, I don't know if I'm helping or just confusing you now, but in side-by-side A/B listening, these differences can be heard. But to quote John Darko, these are audiophile differences, just like French vanilla versus vanilla bean, vanilla ice cream. The Martin Logans have a squeaky clean treble. It's like squeegee on glass, never harsh, and it's never too bright, but it's definitely sparkly, and the cymbals really shimmer, which to me changes the balance of recording. So I'm finding myself noticing that shimmer of the cymbal strikes in ways that I don't typically notice. So again, that's not good or bad, but that's what is being presented by the FMT tweeter. And I think it comes down to what your sound preference taste is like. Now, soundstage. The KEF LS50 Meta have a noticeably wider soundstage that also has more depth to it. In contrast, the Martin Logan XT B100s throw their soundstage in front into the room. And as I said, especially the vocalist is forward in the room, and the musicians in the band are noticeably behind the vocalist. And this reminds me very much of the Klipsch presentation of vocalist coming out into the room. Now, I'm speculating, but I think that may be due to this waveguide around the FMT tweeter, because, it's very similar in the way a horn-loaded tweeter on the Klipsch presents the soundstage. And, people love the Klipsch sound. So I think that's a good thing. If you're familiar with Klipsch, I think you'll know what I'm on about. If you're not, Klipsch should be pretty easy to find some place to give a listen to. But yeah, that's definitely something similar. Let me pause very briefly and ask you for your support for this channel. If you enjoy my take on speakers, amps, DACs, streamers, headphones, and IEMs, then I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel, and it would really mean a lot to me. If you click on the thumbs up and like the video, certainly helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm, so I would appreciate that as well. And if you're able, please support the channel by joining my Patreon. There's a link to the Patreon in the description down below, and take a look around. And I would just love to get to know you a little bit by joining the Patreon community. I do also want to briefly point out most but not all of the links in the description are affiliate links that the channel makes a small commission on, but it does not cost you anything. So the affiliate links are your no-cost way to support the channel. So thank you again for your support. So A/B listening to the Martin Logan XT B100s, $1,600 a pair, with the Elac Debut 3.0 that have not been out for that long, $450 per pair. This is where it gets interesting. I decided to keep the Elac Debut 3.0 because I thought they were so good. And at $450, I'm like, I'm going to hold other stand mount speakers, hold their feet to the fire, and A/B listen to each of them against this $450 per pair Elacs. So, you know, if you're not a car guy, I apologize. Warning, another car analogy. But to me, these Elac Debut 3.0, they are the Porsche Cayman GTS of speakers. They're not a hot hatch trying to hang with BMW M3 or the Porsche 911. No, these Elacs are a Cayman GTS. I was really surprised that despite listening, and well, the sensitivity, again, 93 dB, the Elac is stated at 86.5 dB, but I only needed +3 clicks on the volume for the Elacs to volume level match with the Martin Logans. Again, I can't explain. I can only report my experience to you. And in contrast to the Elacs, I needed +6 clicks to volume match the Metas to the Martin Logans. And I think, as I mentioned already, I needed -15 clicks on the volume to volume match the Martin Logans with the Zoo Dirty Weekends. So I guess this is another time to point out manufacturers' specs just have to be taken with quite a large grain of salt, because on paper, based on the sensitivity specs of these speakers that I A/B tested, I never would have predicted what I had to do with the volume control in order to volume level match for the A/B listening. So just, you know, take that for what it's worth. Now, the Elac Debut 3.0 are warmer and fuller and with a smoother presentation than the XT B100s. The Martin Logans are cleaner and more neutral, with sparkle and that squeaky, you know, pane of glass treble presentation. Again, never harsh, but I noticed the treble first on the XT B100s. And in terms of soundstage, the Martin Logans, I prefer the soundstage that the Martin Logans throw, the way it presents into the room. The soundstage that is thrown by the Elac Debut 3.0 is good, but it's not outstanding. It's not what you notice about the sound from the Elacs. But it is one of the things that you really notice from the Martin Logans. So these two sound quite different, and different enough that I think if I did a blindfolded listening test, I could reliably pick out which was the Martin Logan and which was the Elac, because of the warmth and the smoothness of the Elac. And I think blind, depending where I was sitting, but I think I would notice the soundstage also. But they are different enough that I think in blind listening, I could pretty reliably choose which was which. But which sound a person prefers is totally personal preference. And that's up to you. I have a tendency to prefer warm over bright. So I think personally, I would keep the $1,150 price difference. I would keep $1,150 in my pocket and order the Elac Debut 3.0. As excellent as this sounds, as beautiful as it is, $1,150, I would spend less and drive home the Elac Debut 3.0. Even though there are several arguments to be made that the Martin Logan are better. The looks of the white satin I really like. I think this is a really good looking speaker. And I think the Elac, I like this black finish. It's, to me, just nondescript. Black goes with most decors. Doesn't stand out. It's not gorgeous. It's really solidly built, but I think this is really good. Quick note, the other two finish options from Martin Logan, the black is not a satin. It's a high gloss black. I will not buy a high gloss finish. Shows dust and fingerprints too much. You see the natural sunlight that we get in here. It's way too reflective. I don't like any high gloss finish. So I wish the black was also a satin. And then the third option is a walnut wood veneer, where this ring around the woofer is like a bronze or a gold tone, very Klipsch, RP 600 or 8000F. You know, I don't think that looks good. This is the only finish of the Martin Logans I would buy. But I think this white satin, it's a really good looking speaker. That's just my opinion. I think you could argue for sure the build quality on this is better, even though the Elac is really solid. This is appropriate to its $600 price point. Again, preference, but the FMT, the folded motion tweeter, is really good. It's without doubt the star of the show from Martin Logan. And I think the Martin Logan probably would measure better in your room than the Elac Debut 3.0, if that's important to you. My ears are what I measure by, not nothing else. But their price of $1,600, plus they really do need a subwoofer, and the Elacs really go down to about 40 hertz. Depending on your music library, I think you can get away without a sub with the Elac Debut 3.0. But even if you are going to match it with a subwoofer, that $1,150, you can spend $800 on an SVS Micro 3000, or even the Martin Logan. I think it's they've got a $900 subwoofer that comes with the Anthem room correction. So I just think the value proposition with the sound quality of the Elac, I don't know. It's very compelling, and it's very hard to not conclude that based on value for money, the Elac wins going away. So this is my review of the Martin Logan XT B100 stand mount speakers. I want to say thank you so much for watching. My goal is to help you reach and enjoy your hi-fi happy place. Please share your thoughts down below with me in the comments. And most definitely, please come back and return to this channel. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you again on the next video.